long time ago, in a time of spears and kingdoms, when the lands of the south were ruled by warriors and kings, destiny began to weave the story of a child no one believed in, rejected by his clansmen, cast out with his mother, hardened by suffering. From that forgotten boy would rise one of the most feared rulers in history. This is the definitive epic of the Zulu King, a journey through blood, brilliance, and the unbreakable bond of a son. That boy was Shaka Zulu. The story begins around the year 1787, under a sky that promised nothing but dust. A child was born from a controversial union, a boy whose existence angered many within his father's household and some clans. His father was King Senzangakona. Some mocked him with a cruel nickname linked to an intestinal parasite, and the name Shaka would follow him through history. For years, Shaka and his mother, Nandi, walked the scorched earth as outcasts. They were shadows moving from settlement to settlement, mocked at many kraals, and driven away by those who refused to accept them. Shaka watched the world strip away his mother's dignity, and in those long nights, a hard iron entered his soul. While other children played, Shaka stared into the horizon and whispered a vow. The world would not just respect his mother. One day, the world would tremble at her name. As Shaka grew into manhood, he began to see war differently. Among many Nguni warriors, battles were often fought at a distance, with spears thrown before warriors withdrew. But Shaka envisioned something more decisive, under the influence of the powerful chief, Dingiswayo, whom he served as a young warrior. Shaka began shaping a new kind of army. He favored a short, stabbing spear known as the Iklwa. It was a weapon designed for close combat and forced warriors to face their enemies at arm's length. He trained his followers relentlessly. They marched long distances without sandals until their feet grew tough against the earth. Discipline replaced fear, and speed replaced hesitation. Shaka was no longer a refugee. He was becoming an architect of a new kind of war. He told his warriors, with eyes as cold as a mountain stream, "Never leave an enemy behind, or he will rise again to fly at your throat." And so he did not merely defeat rival tribes. He broke their ability to fight again. By 1816, Shaka rose to the throne of the Zulu after the death of his father, Senzangakona. But he did not come to rule quietly. He came to forge a war machine. Shaka believed a warrior's greatest weapon was his own body. He banned the traditional oxide sandals and forced his men to march and fight barefoot. Running across thorns and stone hardened their feet like leather, allowing them to move faster and more silently than their enemies. The old throwing spear was replaced with the Iklwa, a short stabbing spear designed for close combat, which became the primary weapon for his warriors. They were also trained to hook aside an enemy's shield with their own and drive the blade into the ribs at arm's length. With hardened soldiers and deadly weapons, Shaka refined a devastating battle strategy known as the Buffalo Horn Formation. Imagine a battlefield where the earth begins to hum. Shaka's army moved like a single living beast. The chest, the central force that locked the enemy in direct combat. The horns, fast warriors who swept around both sides to surround the enemy. The loins, veteran reserves waiting behind the lines, ready to strike. When the horns closed, escape vanished. The valleys of southern Africa would soon remember the thunder of Shaka's armies. Shaka's philosophy was ruthless. Never leave an enemy behind, he warned his warriors. For a wounded leopard is more dangerous than a dead one. At the height of his power, Shaka ruled a growing kingdom, yet the center of his world remained his mother Nandi, whom he honored as his Ndlovukazi, the great she-elephant. She was one of the few people who could speak to the king without fear. But in 1827, the one enemy Shaka could never defeat arrived. Death claimed Nandi. The loss shook him deeply. Many traditions say his grief overwhelmed him and that he imposed strict mourning rituals across the kingdom. Some accounts even claim severe punishments for those who did not mourn properly, though the exact details remain debated among historians. The debated details include Mass executions. It is estimated that between 7,000 and 12,000 people were killed simply for being considered insufficiently sorrowful or for failing to show enough grief. Famine by decree. For an entire year, Shaka reportedly forbade the planting of crops and banned the use of milk, the staple food of Zulu life. This decision is said to have brought severe hunger upon his own people. The war on life. In what many historians describe as an act of madness, he allegedly ordered that all pregnant women, along with their husbands, be put to death. The slaughter of beasts. Even the cattle were not spared. Cows were reportedly slaughtered so their calves would know what it feels like to lose a mother. Their living grave. Some accounts claim that maidens and attendants were buried alive alongside Nandi so they could continue serving her in the afterlife. What is certain is that the kingdom felt the weight of the king's sorrow. The ruler, who had forged an empire, now seemed consumed by grief. The end came in September 1828. While many of the Zulu armies were away on campaign, Shaka remained at his royal settlement near Kwadukuza. In the quiet heat of the day, betrayal approached from within his own bloodline. His half-brothers, Dingane and Maitlangana, conspired against him. When the attack came, it was sudden. Blades struck the king, who had once commanded thousands. The creator of the Zulu war machine collapsed under the weapons of his own family. According to later Zulu tradition, Shaka's final words warned his killers that they would not rule peacefully and that strangers from the sea would one day dominate the land. Whether prophecy or legend, those words would echo long after his death. Though Shaka Zulu died in 1828, the force he unleashed would reshape the history of Southern Africa. The outcast child became a king. The mocked boy became the architect of one of the most powerful military systems the region had ever seen. His enemies feared him. His warriors followed him. His story spread across generations. And long after his death, the name Shaka Zulu would continue to echo across the continent.